what's up, YouTube, and everybody else who might be watching on whatever other platform. Back with another word, and this one is actually inspired by a conversation I had with somebody the other day. They were explaining to me how they were having issues with trying to, empathize, basically, and it's because they said they would always become blocked up by, the negative emotions and the negative aspects of said emotions when they were trying to see stuff from another person's point of view, right? So what we got to understand is that first and foremost, when you are attempting to empathize with a person, what you're doing is opening up your heart gate, your solar heart gate, right? You're extending that light so that somebody else's heart light will receive that light, and together those create a resonant vibration, right? And through this and across this resonant vibrational connection, metaphysical information, spiritual information, mental information can be exchanged, all right? This is what is meant when, or this is what's happening, what you're experiencing when you are listening to someone say something and it makes you sad, right? Or you hear a song or see a movie or a thing and think it's sad or think it's cute and it makes you happy. Like, this is essentially what's happening, right? This information is being translated to you, or is being transported to you through metaphysical means, okay? So when you are being empathetic to a person, essentially what you're doing is allowing that person's experience, right, to be an insperience for you, right? And this is to say you're trying to see it from a spiritual and a mental spiritual, really, point of view. So you're taking yourself outside of your body and your predicament, and you're putting yourself, okay, because yourself is in your body. You aren't your body, right? So you're taking yourself out of your body, and out of your predicament, out of your situations, out of your upbringing, out of your life, and you're implanting yourself in their place. This is what is meant by, putting yourself in another person's shoes, or putting yourself in another spot, or, whatever, however you want to say it. Like, that's, wearing someone else's skin, whatever. That's what that is. Like, you're essentially trying to sync some section of their vibration up with some section of your vibration. That way you can experience their experience and thusly come to know them a little better. Also by way of that experience and experience, coming to know yourself better. Because again, you begin to see really clearly how everyone is just different facets of the same diamond. Okay, this is why the diamond is historically and historically used to represent the grand knowledge, right? The highest knowledge, right? Because of the fact that it's one thing that has multiple facets, multiple faces, all right? And that's all every soul really is. That's why, like a diamond in the sky, right? That's why. Because that's what we are. We're a reflection of that, right? So when you start to begin to empathize with a person, and you make an attempt to hold off and stave off those negative vibrations, the second you recognize that they pop up, because even recognizing that you have that issue is a step in the right direction. It's a huge step, because that enables you to do something about it, because you have effectively named and called out this demon, right? Because that's how that works. When you identify a force, mental or spiritual, right, a daemon, when you identify that and call it out, you gain control over it, because now it's not an unknown. It's not a shadow anymore. You see what it is for what it is, and you can actually begin to work it and either integrate it or obliterate it, depending on what your preference is, what your uses for that might be, right? So empathy is literally that. It's just trying to get their light to correspond with your light, so you can understand things and understand things. Really, like I said, you're having an experience about their experiences, right? And through that, you come to know yourself a little better. Your light field, your light bodhi, you know what I'm saying? Body, bodhi, right? Your light bodhi, and that corresponding harmonic frequency extends, it expands, right? This is enlightenment. And what is the ultimate goal is to extend all fields of light that emanate from the self, right? Physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, all of them, right? And this is one way to do that, especially if you're a beginner or you're just starting to get into the arcane arts, the magical understandings, however you want to say it. The first thing you should do is be doing shadow work, right? And again, ain't no need to be afraid of the shadow. especially when you have an understanding that that is just essentially a part of you being reflected out of the mirror that is the facet, of that diamond that another person is, right? So practice that empathy, even if it's hard for you at first, even if you have to do it in private, practice it, because through doing that, you'll gain self-awareness and awareness of the actualization possibilities of the self. Okay, you cease to be a physical thing and you start to understand that you are a wavelength, right? You are a point wave equation. That's what you are, right? This whole in and experience, X and in experience, is just point wave duality. That's how, mainstream science, what I'm saying, kindergarten science, that's how that explains it. So the whole point of this is to understand again, they will call it quantum entanglement, right? This is basically what they're describing, is to understand the way that these facets operate. Thusly, you can come to know yourself as a piece of the all father and all mother, right? In doing this, you are reborn, right? So empathy is, while it can't, like I said, be slow path, because you got to go one by one until you really start to develop a knack for it, and then it kind of just happens automatically. But it's a great path because it's thorough, right? And you learn things about not only the person that you're trying to resonate with, help, or cure, but you also learn things about yourself that you can't readily in or experience on the physical planes. All right. All right. Well, so that's all I got today on empathy. And I'll probably be back a little bit later with another word. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.